If I'm going to make an anime channel, might as well make my first video on my favorite anime, which, by the gods thank you, is making a generational comeback. Because this generational run wasn't enough apparently. Nah, Gintama is a franchise that just continues to be peak. And I am not lying when I say that. There's actual factual backings. Check my anime list, for example, and count how many of its seasons, yes, seasons, not just one entry, are making the top charts. And even beyond the anime space, it's doing numbers. Be it in its manga, light novel, and even live action adaptation. Hey yo, why haven't you made another? Gintama is truly one of the greatest franchises of all time, and it's coming back. Because on August 16th, 2025, an offline Gintama Multiverse Festival, yes, that's what it was called, was held. And the purpose, I'm pretty sure, was to drop some pretty big Gintama news. But mate, I'm sure many Gintama fans can relate. Why did it have to be exclusive to Japan? Offline and non-recorded? Ugh, I wanted to be with the crowd reactions because I'm sure people were wetting themselves during the reveals. Oh. Anyhow, yes, whilst they released more footage on their spin-off Ginpachi Sensei series, which is coming out real soon, the big surprise came from their new movie getting released next year, the reanimation and retelling of the Yoshiwara in Flames arc. Is this what it feels like to be ascending? Because look at the quality of this trailer. Oh my lord! You gotta look at this. Look how much the times have changed. Look at the shading. Look at the quality of the lighting. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And then you got our boy. Oh man, they looking sexy. Now, why was that news so crazy to me? Well, after the release of Gintama The Final, which as the name states, was the movie which adapted the last chapters of Gintama, honestly, I thought it was over. Not that I was complaining, because it ended well. The franchise ended really well. Do you know how rare that is? A long-running franchise actually having a great ending? So I was like, bet, thanks for changing my life, Gintama. But then, during the 2023 Gintama Matsuri Festival, another big offline event that celebrates everything Gintama, yes, Japan loves Gintama, they announced the anime adaptation of Ginpachi Sensei, which is a spin-off light novel which sets the Gintama cast in a school setting. Now, since I knew nothing about it, outside it being an episode-ending funny segment, I was like, alright, you're making that a full series? Beautiful. More Gintama? I'm liking it. But then eventually, after Ginpachi Sensei and its multiple seasons, yes, I'm that optimistic, don't at me, I returned to thinking to myself, alright, well, now that's truly the end of Gintama. Thank you again. But nope, because I'm a goddamn fool. Because I fundamentally forget the very entertainment trend that's been making bank for various beloved media franchises, remakes. I mean, sure, it's not been all perfect, but you cannot deny that when they do well, they can make numbers. And we've been seeing this remake business throughout all mediums of entertainment, perhaps more prevalently in movies, games, and anime. So why not let Gintama also get in on that? Hence the Yoshiwara in Flames arc remake. By the way, here's a little tidbit of trivia. In the original depiction of the arc, the location of Yoshiwara wasn't actually ever on fire. Sure, it could be metaphorical, but hey, now it's real, and it's gonna be lit, literally. And you know what else could be lit? The many other stories that Gintama could produce. Canonical lore stories. I'm talking about the Jory War mainly. We've never seen Gintoki's past fully fleshed out. There are still so many stories that Gintama could tell us. But anyway, I'm clearly digressing. Now, understandably, one might think, is it really good to be milking a series? Why not just let it rest? To which I say, why would I want to starve myself from peak content? Are you mad? But that's my opinion. But how about the author of Gintama, Sorachi Sensei? If you want his thoughts, it's all laid out right here. 6 years since the serialization ended, and yet this work is still being used as a tool for dirty adults to make a little money. And seeing it being sucked dry until it's no longer tasty makes me feel as though it's the greatest honor for an author as I look at my bank account. Now you might be thinking, how the hell is this guy chatting so much crap? But don't worry, it's all good and fun. After all, being an unprofessional sarcastic sleazebag is part of his brand. I mean, if you've read Gintama, you understand that content of this kind of flavor can only come from a mind like his. The filthiest mastermind of all. His words, not mine by the way. And I love him for it. But not to worry, the message from the author is still a positive one. Thanking the fans' support on the Gintama franchise, as well as being surprised at just how long it's managed to be so successful, and thus he thinks to himself that eventually, it'll all explode on him. Or it'll explode due to Sugita's sexual issues or some other problem. Oh, Sorachi Sensei, never change. Sugita, by the way, is referring to Sugita Tomokazu, the voice actor for Sakata Gintoki, and my personal favorite Japanese voice actor. Although to say he voices Gintoki is an understatement, because dude is Gintoki. But perhaps I'll save my Sugita Tomokazu glazing for another video. Anyway, so all in all, yes, the Gintama franchise is continuing. And if the Ginpachi Sensei anime and or Yoshiwara in Flames movie performs well, please investors, keep this peak franchise alive. I'd love to see some of the older arcs get a readaptation too. And as I've mentioned before, there's still so many stories that can be told in the Gintama world. And you know what? I'll happily get a new live action movie as well. But this glorious future for Gintama, obviously, relies on money. And you don't get money unless you get good performance. Thus, if you ask me, what am I expecting with the upcoming 2 Gintama installments? Let's start with Ginpachi Sensei, since we're literally going to see this in 2 months' time. From what I've heard, Ginpachi Sensei is going to be a bit of a different character to Gintoki, because this dude will be playing more of the straight man character than Gintoki. And no, I'm not saying that Gintoki barracks for the other side, even though he might have experimented on that side a couple of times. Whoops. What I mean by the straight man is that he won't be making as much of the jokes. He'll be more the reactor to the shenanigans before bringing the moments back to plot. After all, he's the teacher, and he's going to stand on business while his students do some of the nutty stuff. Still, being more of a straight man character, one could worry that perhaps Ginpachi Sensei won't have the same comedic power as Gintama as a result, and hence be a bit of a lackluster watching experience. Additionally, with Ginpachi Sensei being a story that likely capitalizes more on the casual comedy side, it's all the more important it lands on the comedic commentary. Now, do I have any worries they'll fall short on this? No. Hell no. To even have a modicum of doubt? Huh! I'm a fake fan. I mean, yes, perhaps this is the goggles of bias talking, but hear me out. The success of Gintama is not solely on Gintoki being the funny guy. Everyone can be funny. If Gintoki's the straight man this time around, bet. That means everyone else gets to be doing the funny weird stuff instead. And yes, the other characters can be funny as hell, which is completely enhanced by the voice cast. I mean, even in Gintama, Gintoki's not completely the funny dude all the time. Sometimes he takes a straight man role too. Ginpachi's likely just gonna be Gintoki playing the straight man even more. Thus, hell yeah, I'm going into Ginpachi Sensei with some strong expectations. It's gonna be a banger, y'all. But not gonna lie, I definitely do find myself being more keen on seeing how the Yoshiwara and Flames movie turns out. Because that arc, yes, I'm a broken record at this point, was literal fire. I loved the drama of it, the new cast of characters, the illest fights, and yes, the comedy. It's an arc that's consistent with the Gintama quality, doing anything and everything right. But if I'm thinking about stuff that immediately comes to mind, gosh, where do I start? The introduction of fan favorites Kamui and Tsukio, the landscape of Yoshiwara, Gintoki's hilarious introduction to Yoshiwara, the beautiful relationship between Hinowa and Seita, Shinpachi getting thrusted by Kamui's friend, which in the doujins is a very different story. If you get it, my Fujoshis. Kagura going sicko mode, and boy oh boy, Gintoki versus Horsen. What's special about Gintama fights is not in their flashiness, but it's in the absolute humanity of it. Because as strong as Gintoki is, he's still human, and he's up against superhuman aliens. So when he's fighting someone more powerful than him, he's pouring his absolute soul into every strike, and you can feel every fiber of that in the fight with Gintoki and Horsen. Oh my god, look at how kinetic that all feels. The sound designs too. The animators went absolutely god mode. Mind you, when this arc aired, it was around 2008, back when anime was still in that small resolution. And now we have the chance to see this being all animated in beautiful modern animation quality. And more, because from the looks of it, the team are adding more to the retelling. So I suppose the additional fire is not the only thing that's going to make the movie even more fire. Gosh, I'm so keen. But in glazing the readaptation of the Yoshiwara and Flames arc, I have to acknowledge the unfortunate passing of Hinowa's voice actor, Tomo Sakurai. She had passed away quite recently, unfortunately, but please know, you did an absolutely wonderful job of bringing this character to life. She's such a lovable mother, and in spite of all the hardships she went through, I'll forever remember her go-lucky attitude as she accepted her new lease on life. Thank you so much, Tomo Sakurai-san, and rest in peace. So, with this video reaching a sentimental tone, yeah, I think this is a good place to end it. I'm sure it's clear to everyone, Gintama is a piece of fiction that's near and dear to my heart. It's my favorite anime of all time. Where do you think my persona as a content creator came from? Thus, when we've been dumped with all this new content of Gintama, I can't help but put my passions into my hand as I construct this video, which in turn hopefully reaches other Gintama fans who are happy to get just as hyped as I am. So, of course, in having so much excitement, oh god, I beg, none of the series doesn't become a flop. Anyhow, would love to hear your thoughts in the comments regarding Gintama's new rise, be it with Ginpachi Sensei or the new movie. Follow my socials if you want to keep up with your boy, and like and subscribe if you want more from your boy. Much love, and take care.